Welcome to The Best Part Is with Sid Adee. I'm Sid, a writer, actor, and a connoisseur of all things geekdom. And Aditi is a cognitive psychologist, actor, director, and pop culture enthusiast. So grab your favorite drink, get comfortable, put on your earpods, and let's dive into the best part.
Hi, Sid.
Hi, Adi.
How are we doing?
Same old, same old.
What is same old?
I just binge watched an entire series of movies.
Which ones?
Marvel. So I went through Iron Man 1, Iron Man 2, Hulk, Thor, Captain America, Avengers, then Iron Man 3, and Thor 2.
I watched Age of Ultron today.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love that film.
Why?
This doesn't get the credit it deserves.
It shouldn't get any credit.
It should get a lot of credit. So when that movie first came out, I told everyone I had gone to watch the movie, all my friends, because they didn't like the film. And I told them literally, this movie will make sense when Infinity War comes out. And it did. Civil War and Infinity War were set up by Age of Ultron. And it is the best one. Without Age of Ultron, those movies suck.
Speaking of unnecessary conviction, I have a question for you. We are on a podcast that discusses or tries to dissect things about things we like in a more psychological, cultural manner.
Okay.
Okay. So what is the current scenario? So the current scenario of the Hollywood world or the movie world or the media consumption world is all based on remakes. And I know you have very strong convictions about these kinds of things. So what is your thoughts?
So now, or The Departed, for example, one of the most famous examples is like it was a Hong Kong movie. It's an original Hong Kong film.
Right.
And Martin Scorsese sees it and he just picks it up. And in fact, he joked about this because he should have won an Oscar for, Goodfellas.
Yeah.
But he never won for Goodfellas.
And he won an Oscar for a remake.
Yeah, and he joked about it in his acceptance speech. He's like, this is the first time I made a movie without a script.
Yeah.
And this one. So, I understand those kind of remakes. I get that. I really appreciate those.
But I think what right now we're facing is not that kind of remake. It's not watching Old Boy, getting inspired and going like, now we'll make Old Boy into English. Or watching
like,
Perfect Strangers.
Or the one like Sanjay Dutt and John Abraham made.
Yes, like that. Or like watching Perfect Strangers, which is Italian movie, if I'm not wrong. And because it's not dubbed directly into English or something, there's hundreds of remakes of it, including one recently released in Bollywood called Khel Khel Mein.
Oh,
right?
I did not know this.
However, what is funny is the tonality of that movie changes across cultures.
Oh,
So Perfect Strangers is made in a very interesting way where it's like comedy, dramedy kind of situation. And whereas by the time it reached Bollywood, right now it is full-blown comedy, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I have watched it, and correct me if I'm wrong, whoever it is, but this is where we are at right now.
Yeah.
I mean, that kind of
People
remix.
comment below if she's wrong, not when I'm wrong.
Sure. As I was saying, I think the remake part of the world is about the fact that we are going into Twisters being remade.
The 90s. The 80s being brought back.
Yeah.
The 90s being
Mufasa being released.
Yeah.
Milking on the Lion King.
Mufasa is different. Mufasa is releasing an original film to an existing fan base.
But based on like an epic
Existing franchise.
saga or franchise that exists. So we're just rehashing existing stuff.
But technically, if you think about it, there's nothing new under the sun. Like
there's nothing new under the sun because people aren't making anything new under the sun.
No, there's nothing. There's not been anything new under the sun for a good 100 years now. Like even when you make original movies.
What do you mean 100 years now?
Even when you make original films, they have borrowed the concepts from like Greek mythology or like that. So like for example, one of your favorite series, Hunger Games, is literally picked up from Theseus.
Correct, but like I would
like he actually said the words, I volunteer.
I would attribute Theseus and the fact that a lot of battle royale influence.
Yeah, but battle royale is again Theseus.
I understand, but that's again inspirational. I would say it'll come
Giving
under
it your
the
own
same.
twist.
It comes under the same chronology or the ideology of what Martin Scorsese did with Departed.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't come under the same, lexicon of the current scenario we're facing.
Yeah.
Right? How long ago did we finish Logan?
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
We killed Logan and Logan died happily.
That was what, 2014? 2016, 2015.
Yeah, it was a while back.
Yeah.
Right? And we were very satisfied. We were very good. And then
Tears, cries.
And then we got it back in Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yeah, I mean, they did their work around it. They're like, oh no, it's not the same Wolverine. It's Wolverine, So you're bringing back a character like which you had said that would never come back. But then that's the essence of comic books. Like you cannot begrudge that. Jean Grey died, and she's the longest dead character in comic book history. But eventually she came back.
So what I'm hearing is you're all for this.
I'm all for it if it's done well. Like for example, let's say
that's exactly what I said to you 2 days ago. You just picked up what I just said and put it back.
I don't remember what was discussed this morning.
That's fair. I give that to you.
Thank you.
10 points to Gryffindor.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Keep going.
Like for example, if let's say they stick to the thing, we've given our word, no more Wolverine. Okay, so they don't make Deadpool and Wolverine. We wouldn't get such a fun movie.
Till he's 90.
Till he's 90.
That's right, till he's 90. It's never going to stop, so it's okay.
But yeah, I mean, I don't mind it when they do it well, but when they don't do it well, then like for example, the Fast and Furious series, like come on, man, just stop. It should have ended with Furious 7 when, they did that whole, it's been a long way.
It's like the iPhone.
Yeah, it's the same thing over and over again. No, but at least with iPhone, it's the same thing over and over again. Here, it is pretending to be different. And now they're just ripping off.
I haven't watched one since Paul Walker died.
Oh, you're missing something.
I really haven't. I don't know.
They pulled an Infinity War with the last one.
What do you mean? Multiverse? What? I'm sorry, what?
They killed off everyone.
Oh, that way. Like
everyone except Vin Diesel. Because Vin Diesel cannot die. Like, he's like the Dwayne Johnson thing. No, I cannot lose. So basically, yeah. So remember that movie where the one movie before Paul Walker passed away.
Okay.
The one where they robbed in Brazil and they pulled that safe through the city.
Okay, sure.
Okay. So apparently, there was a character over there which they had not shown on film.
Okay.
The son of the bad guy. So this bad guy is like 5'2" and 5'3", 5'4", and his son, his biological son, is Jason Momoa. Just process that for a second. Someone shorter than you or as tall as you has a son who's exactly like Jason Momoa.
I could pull that off. My genes could pull it off. I have the hair. I have the Jason Momoa hair.
75 years of Indian independence, not one Jason Momoa except when Great Khali was born. But sure.
I could be it. I could be I could helm this future. But what is your problem?
I believe you.
Correct.
I don't doubt you.
Correct.
So he comes in and he's angry because his father's stolen money was stolen. So he's angry. He wants vengeance. So he starts a very convoluted plan where no matter what Vin Diesel does, he's losing. And in the end, by the way, Vin Diesel has a son which he didn't know about. And in the end, he's protecting his son. But then a plane crashes in which all the other characters are there. And there's another car crash where some of the remaining characters were there. And they're all dead. And
like all of them.
They're all dead. And then, but the plane they don't show them dying. They just show the plane crashing. So maybe they got out of the plane, you don't know. And then the screen goes blank and goes like to be continued. And there's going to be a part 2 which will be like Endgame. That'll be the last one they're saying.
That's the last Fast
They are saying.
Okay. But this is the same problem I have with everything though. Even in Bad Boys when the sun propped up.
Sun propped up?
When there was a sun, right? That's Will Smith's
son. Oh, the sun propped up. Oh, sorry.
Not the
sun prop. Sorry, my bad.
Not the sun
sunshine,
we rotate against.
Go home.
Not that one. Like the sun propped up. Like I didn't know where he came from.
Nobody knows.
So that problem is always there with me. And here's
but he propped up in the last movie.
But here's my thing though. This is what I mean. You go from Bad Boys to A Quiet Place. Mm-hmm. And any other movie you watch this year, they're all either franchise or a remake or something along those lines.
Alien Romulus.
Gladiator 2. That's coming up.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying.
Gladiator 2 was shocking. Like of all the movies, like there are just some movies which you think will never ever get a sequel, right? Because it was just done so perfectly. It's like giving Titanic a sequel.
I'm sure they're working on it. I'm sure they're working on someone who can pull off a Jack and Rose.
You know the joke on Tumblr? The Tumblr was a thing from my time.
I think Tumblr is still a thing because I read about Tumblr on Reddit.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you read about Tumblr on... Wow. Your cross-platform issues are like, you will be talking to me on the phone, will text me on WhatsApp to check my Instagram.
Yes, because I use a lot of platforms.
Good job.
Thank you. I appreciate
there was this Tumblr joke which was like, Inception is a sequel to Titanic.
Inception is a sequel to Titanic.
Because he sinks over there and he washes up on shore over here.
Correct. That's it. That is it. That is the whole conversation. But here's my analysis though. So I have a theory. It's more along the lines of human exhaustion with media. Okay. And from a psychological point of view, from a what point of view? From a psychological point of view, this is my thing is, since we all went through a collective trauma in 2020. Do you remember COVID?
It was very traumatic for me. I loved it. I could stay at home. My job wasn't paying me a salary, so I didn't have to go to them.
But still quite
They
traumatic.
weren't paying me before the COVID, so during COVID I didn't have to go to work.
Calling out this company loudly. I like it. No, but the point what I'm trying to make is, I don't know. Because again, you know how we say BC and
Before,
yeah, right. That's how
BC,
you know how we say
BC.
2000 BC. So I think of it as
I'm really on the wrong frequency today. Like you said sun, and I'm like sun.
Yeah.
And then you're BC. I'm like, it's DC. It's just, what?
how we say 2000 BC.
Yeah, I get it.
I say pre-COVID, post-COVID. And I cannot remember for the life of me how things were. I can remember 2019 very evidently.
Yeah.
And I remember like 2 years before that because I went for masters and I came back.
Yeah.
So I remember that kind of a thing.
It's like 2020, 21 and 22 are just like clubbed together.
Yes, exactly. So my analysis is, because COVID, right, the way it was structured and the way it was, how it impacted the human race is that we were indoors the whole time.
Yeah.
We consumed everything that was existent prior to it. Like I remember Ryan Reynolds or someone going like, I finished Netflix. Right? Like he finished it. Whatever was on it.
Kuch nahi bacha.
Correct. Nothing was remaining. So he finished it.
Yeah.
And to someone of his caliber and his kind of security, he doesn't need to work or be stressed about many things.
Yeah.
So they finished it. So my analysis is, now that we're in post-COVID era, how to manage the exhaustion that people feel. Right? The exhaustion you feel from heavy media consumption cannot be altered with adding new media consumption, because you're tired already. You're tired of the hundreds and millions of things you've consumed, the hundreds and millions of things you watch on a daily basis. We're consuming content, even at short form level.
Yeah.
Right? I'm on Insta
Reels.
all the time, Reels all the time, TikTok all the time, and I'm consuming all of that content. And my attention span is getting shorter by the minute. Right? In this era, how do we still sell? How does Disney sell? How does Warner Brothers sell? How do the big folks sell? This is why they rehash old things, because it gives you the sense of familiarity. It gives you the sense of, I know this, so it's comfortable.
Yeah.
And comfort is something we were lacking because all of our nervous systems are still very short.
Yep.
Right? Still very much, and we have learned so much about this now. Oh, our nervous systems, what we need, or cortisol level, insulin resistance. This is the language and the jargon people use right now. And who are your heaviest consumers? Your late millennials and early Gen Zs.
Okay.
Those people were around when all of these things were being made. For example, we went to watch Twisters, right? I didn't watch Twisters.
As a kid, yeah.
As a kid, I didn't watch it.
But you were too young for it.
But you and our other friend, Joe,
yeah.
both of you were like, gotta watch Twisters.
Yeah.
Gotta watch it. That movie meant a lot to me, and it was epic, and Joe doesn't like anything scary.
Yeah.
Right? And I went, Joe doesn't like anything scary. Why is she watching something like Twisters, which...
It just wasn't scary.
It's not, but it's still about it like a natural disaster. And
Yeah.
she won't watch that tsunami movie, for example, right? Like she won't watch it. So I want to know why she's watching a movie about tornadoes.
Yeah.
And you go for it and you have a Glenn Powell moment, but you watch it.
We had a Glenn Powell mode that...
Glenn Powell moment, you get to see who he is on TV, on screen.
Oh, okay.
See, you're not on my frequency today. Come back.
I didn't
Come
know
back to
that
me.
was-
Come back to me.
I don't think I would have gotten that even if I was on your frequency.
That is because you don't consume short form content the way I do. Okay? So because we are in that time, and I went to watch Twisters, and I saw that everyone seated there was of a certain age range.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that certain age range is the one this movie is for.
Yeah.
It's not for the younger folk. Even the younger folk were bored. Okay, it's not for my fellow friends who do not appreciate this genre or watched anything before, because they also go like, "Oh my god, what is? I'm tired. I don't want to watch this."
Yeah.
You know, that
It
kind of
was
thing.
either Glenn Powell fans or fans of the original Twisters.
Original Twisters.
Yeah.
And for example, for Saloni, it's because of Daisy Edgar Jones. I'm sorry if I got her name wrong.
that's her name.
Because she watched Normal People. So again, we are also using names we know.
I mean, no, but that you cannot.
correct.
That is part and parcel of the.
So it's some one of those things, but you get people to go
Yeah.
in, but you get this certain age range to go in. And these the same age range, that nervous system was the most shocked.
Yeah.
And most impacted.
But that's a very good point that you have made about certain groups of people. I think that's where a lot of established franchises are suffering.
Okay.
So, for example, if you take Star Wars, for example, my go-to example for fans who are disgruntled and unhappy, they are always so disgruntled and unhappy. That fan base is just
You're calling out your work, ex-workplace, your
I'm just
Star
in a mood
Wars
today.
fans.
I'm just in a mood today. No, but honestly, Star Wars fans have always annoyed me. Like because think about it this way. For me, prequels were the introduction. I didn't watch the originals.
Correct.
Because my dad is an action movie fan. My dad wasn't a sci-fi fan.
Right.
So my dad introduced me at a very inappropriate age to the Die Hards, the Predators, the Hard Targets, the
You
Twisters.
and other 30-year-olds
You and me
across
and
the
other
world.
people. My dad would just go, hey, it is and he would just say, these are bad words, you don't say them. I'm like, okay, I won't say them. And that worked for a long time. I didn't say them. But the thing was, my dad just gave me action movies.
Right.
Sci-fi was not introduced to me until I opened myself up to it.
Correct.
So when the Star Wars prequels came out, it was huge.
Yeah.
Like I hadn't heard a buzz that big until that movie had come out. So I wanted to go to watch Phantom Menace, and we were in India on summer vacation or something like that, and my mom took me for it. I loved it. I didn't care that those trade talks were boring or Jar Jar Binks was annoying. In that moment, me at that age, I think I was 9, 10. I loved it because it is catered towards me.
Correct.
Attack of the Clones, I remember because I had grown up a little, I found it a tad bit boring.
Okay.
But towards the end, I loved that as well because the
Right.
action sequences. I absolutely loved Revenge of the Sith. Now, here's the fun part. At that point of time, here's the best part.
There you
At
go.
that point of time,
At the moment, take it.
at the moment, take it. So at that point, social media was not a thing. We had MSN Messenger. We didn't have anything else.
You had MSN Messengers in the 70s? How old are you again?
When the Phantom Menace released. 1999.
In Messenger in 1999? See, I was 5, so I wouldn't know. Keep going.
Okay, moving on. So because there was no social media, I was able to form my own ideas.
Okay.
So I didn't care if a lot of people, if the newspaper was saying it's not going well, if the newspaper was saying fans don't like it, because everyone around me liked it. Everyone around me enjoyed it. Now everyone is like, oh yeah, Attack of the Clones was. I'm like, no, at that point of time, I'm sure you liked it.
Because the cultural change has also happened. At that time, culturally, we valued other people's opinions.
Yeah.
And we learned to flock in a way of, oh, you like it too? I'll be your friend.
There was a middle ground back then.
There was a middle ground back then. Now the community or the cultural impact or the cultural change now that has happened is we want to attack those who are not in the same line as us.
Yeah.
Who's not aligned as us, who don't have the same opinions as us. So the cultural impact has also changed.
Completely. And I got completely sidetracked with my Phantom Menace story when I forgot to make the point that I was actually trying to make.
The best part is you never make a point.
I never make a point. I always get sidetracked. I miss the point. So when you mentioned the age demographic targeted for Twisters, the same thing applies for established franchises. Now the problem is Star Wars, the prequels were released for a certain demographic.
Right.
Star Wars, the originals.
Got it.
When the prequels came out, they were aimed at the same demographic.
Right,
The
exactly.
only problem is that previous demographic is not a part of this demographic.
Correct.
They have moved on in age.
Yeah.
So you go and enjoy if you want to enjoy. If you don't want to enjoy it, don't go and enjoy it. But don't take the fun away from the existing people, because that's what happened with the sequel trilogy. Because when the sequel trilogy came out, when The Force Awakens came out, it did great. Like I have the numbers here. Star Wars Force Awakens made like a billion something. Yeah, $2,068,000,000.
So, I am a big fan of the sequels.
Yeah.
Okay, I watched Star Wars very late in life.
Even the last one?
Yeah.
Sequels, not the prequels.
Not the prequel. The one with Ray in it. That's what you're talking about. Yeah.
Even the last one.
Even the last one.
Oh, okay, interesting.
I'm a big fan of them because I'll tell you why. I got into Star Wars very late.
Yeah.
Right? I watched it on a flight because I was bored out of my mind because we were circling above London and nobody was landing. So I had to watch something to get rid of time. And one entire movie I could finish because we were just circling.
Wow.
So so that's when I got into it. It was much, much later in life. And for me, it was I saw a lot more comedy than the narrative plot because of the technology and such that was used. Now, cultural changes, psychological changes.
Yeah.
My brain needs the newer technology to accept Star Wars. So when I watched the sequels, I actually appreciated it for what it was, and the narrative plots and everything mixing, and the culture mixing, and the mixing of the current timeline with the old timeline. All of that worked for me.
Yeah.
Right? So for me, that was top notch. And I know that a lot of Star Wars fans disagree
For
with
you,
me.
that was top notch. For a lot of Star Wars fans, because there have been so many novels that have been released.
Hundreds
of novels. This is a huge, it's almost a religion at this point. I think it is designated as a religion. I'm not sure. I think there was a factoid I read somewhere that Star Wars is considered a religion at this point.
Right.
And there's a massive encyclopedia's worth of knowledge of what happens in the universe of Star Wars after the stories, after the movies, between the movies, before the movies. So they were upset that Disney came in and said, all of this is non-canonical.
Yeah, non-canonical.
I knew you would like that. Say it again.
Non-canonical.
Yes. So Disney came in and said, this is all non-canonical. And all the fans were upset. And I understand why they were upset. Because, you painstakingly go and, you collect all these books and you spend money and you build shrines in your house to these things because you're fans of them. And somebody just comes in.
The best part is I don't disagree that there are shrines in people's houses. Was there a shrine of Star Wars in your house?
It's not Star Wars, it's Funko Pops.
No, that's fine. I have them too. Is that a shrine?
I have a shrine.
Is collecting Funko Pops a shrine?
I have a shrine of Spider-Man.
Oh, that's kind of interesting. You mean an altar, right? You mean a shrine?
Like shrine, as in like a whole shelf full of action figures.
So like an altar?
Yeah, I mean, I don't call it an altar, just call it a shelf.
Okay, so a shelf full of Spider-Man stuff. Go on.
Spider-Man action figures.
Keep going.
And Batman and Nightwing and Red Hood and Superman.
To your point. Go back to your earlier point.
What was my earlier point? So yes, you need to identify if... sorry, and rephrase it. I got lost of action figures. So
falling apart as a person. Collect yourself, keep moving.
Yes. So what I was trying to say is it's difficult for existing franchises to diversify their demographic. So for example, when Marvel decided to, release Captain Marvel, the first Captain Marvel movie was very good. I genuinely enjoyed it. I had a great time watching it, and it did well in terms of box office as well. It made more than $1 billion, which is not a small amount of money, which means it had a huge fan base for it. Did it have holes in it? Yes, but every single Marvel's origin film has had holes in it.
Okay.
In fact, at one point of time, this was a major concern amongst fans where they were saying that Marvel just follows one single formula where the protagonist faces a different version of himself.
Right,
so in Iron Man 1, he faces Ironmonger. Doctor Strange faces that guy Mads Mikkelsen was playing, who we all forgot. So
Mads Mikkelsen, great actor.
Yeah,
keep going.
Black Panther. Killmonger.
Yeah, Killmonger.
So almost every single original movie has a character playing an opposite version of himself.
Yes.
And at that point of time, people went like, you're following a formula.
Yeah.
And it was that same formula that they used.
Right.
That same formula. It's just they got a little bit political.
Yeah.
They talked about feminism. They added a scene where, a guy asked her to smile and she punched him. And again, Marvel has always been political. Marvel's whole
Yes.
thing has been politics.
Correct, because
X-Men is political.
because they move with cultural evolution.
Yes.
They're very like that. Like
Yes.
She-Hulk is so well catered to incels.
And it is perfectly made according to the comics.
Yes.
Like if anybody has read the bloody comics, she breaks the fourth wall the way she does in the TV show. She goes. There's an actual scene where she goes into the writers' room of the Marvel comics and she goes like, "What the hell are you doing with my life? Put it back together. I need a better life."
Yeah, I know.
And she does that here. It's just, if you don't understand what the source material is, you can say it's not for me.
Yeah.
And you can move on.
Yeah.
You cannot attack something over and over and over again and make it sound like, oh, it's bad because they went woke, or it's bad because they did this. People don't even understand what woke is.
But you know what I appreciate though? What they're trying to do, what this world is currently trying to do with the remakes and the franchise building and the world building, is to evoke a sense of nostalgia.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That nostalgia that, we have a community somewhere. Because again, I will go back to pre-COVID times. We were more descendants of individualized thinking and individuation of, this is my life, that's your culture, this is you. And we still are those people. But this kind of community, people who seek out for this kind of community, really helps. Like you just felt like, if you have read the She-Hulk comic books, you understand and feel what I feel.
Yeah.
You see? You search for that. You want that. You want that impact.
Because I've read it once, now I want to watch it on TV.
And this sense of nostalgia is what they are banking on.
Yeah.
And what they will continue to bank on for the foreseeable future.
Like for example, I know so many people who are upset with the fact that Robert Downey Jr. has been cast as Dr. Doom. I say, I don't care.
Yeah, me
Marvel
too.
has earned the right to throw whatever they want our way. I will go watch it, and if it's bad, I will criticize it like I criticize Ant-Man, like I criticize the Marvels.
And to Robert Downey Jr.'s credit, he has been thrown at us for so many times, and every single time it has worked.
He's proved himself.
And he's proved himself. So he's well worthy of the role.
I'm a huge Dr. Doom fan. He's my favorite antagonist.
Me too, Fantastic Four. Sorry, I got sidetracked. See, nostalgia. I build and work towards this too. Sorry, I interrupted you. Please go on. I don't mean
the
to.
movie version. I like the real Dr. Doom.
See, listen, I'm too young for this.
So,
did you just on a podcast? I like it. Go
I
on.
didn't on the podcast. So, I'm a huge Dr. Doom fan because you have no idea how powerful that guy is. Like that guy has gone up against Doctor Strange to try and hold on to the Sorcerer Supreme title. He has magic, he has science, he has powers. He is insane. Okay, it takes at his peak power, he can solo the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe and just come out and go hold Thor's head and hold Hulk's head in the other hand and go
kill all the gangs and go okay, this does not exist anymore.
Yeah, they're all dead. Yeah. So would I like a more authentic, more true to the origin, true to the adaptation version of Dr. Doom? Yes, I would. I would probably prefer Mads Mikkelsen or Bryan Cranston to do Dr. Doom. Yes. But if Marvel is saying that, we are going to fix the whole Kang debacle with Jonathan Majors not being a part of the movies, and we're going to do something with the multiverse, we're going to bring him in, we may not get the actual Dr. Doom. Maybe he just comes in for a bit. Maybe it's just a hype. We don't even know.
Because they are banking on the fact that when you see Robert Downey Jr., you will go watch it. It's the same thing that they're trying to do. Nostalgia, familiarity, comfort. Yeah. They're building on that. That is the psychological cultural impact that they're working towards.
I wouldn't even be surprised if Robert Downey Jr. plays Dr. Doom for just half the movie or even less and then gets killed by the actual Dr. Doom multiverse person.
Because, for example, if you see the way they're using the Fantastic Four cast, at the moment, right? They have put them in 60s clothes. They've told them to hang out outside. Yeah. There's a reason they're doing this. They want you to go you remember when we liked Fantastic Four back then? Yeah. You remember when Chris Evans did Flame On in Wolverine and Deadpool and Wolverine? Yeah. There's a reason for that. Yeah. When was 20th Century Fox is not 100 years old. No. All of the thing that they were showing as nostalgia and they were having a tribute towards is recent.
When did Blade come out? Was it 2003? Let's just do a quick Google search. Blade movie came out in 1998. Okay. So 1998 was the first 20th Century Fox comic book movie, Blade.
Right.
And after that came everything else.
Right.
So it's just what, 26 years
26
of
years.
movies. It's not really.
And they paid an homage, a tribute to 26
To be
years.
fair, it made me emotional watching it because it was like it was the end of an era.
Because that's
my era,
your era, the late millennial era. Not you, I think you're a proper millennial, but to that era, and that's what they're banking on. That's what they want, and that is what is key to this
I
world.
will sit in the theater, I'll be watching the end credits, I'll be getting emotional, and I'll forget the fact that the entire Deadpool and Wolverine movie did not actually have a plot. It just had cameo overload.
Just had cameo overload. It was a cameo after cameo, and I appreciated it.
I did. It
I
gave me everything I wanted.
even made a video on it, and I think we speak about it again in another podcast. But this is what they want. This is the whole idea and what they're trying to set up.
I have a statistic for you. Okay.
Are we going to end on a statistic? That's pretty cool.
Oh, okay, sure. I didn't think that was cool. Most people don't like statistics. So there are 53 Hollywood movies
in Hollywood
that has crossed the $1 billion mark.
Oh wow!
Yeah, only 53.
Okay.
And of these 53, the lowest is The Dark Knight.
Okay.
With 1,007 million. The 1.7 billion.
Okay.
And then comes The Hobbit, 1.17 billion, and then so on and so forth.
Hobbit made $1 billion?
Yes.
Hobbit?
Choose your next words very carefully. Choose your next words very carefully.
Martin Freeman is a gem and he's a brilliant actor. He was in Sherlock. Fantastic.
No, I'm just kidding. It was very haphazardly made. Again, we'll get into this in the next episode.
Yeah, okay, give on.
Okay, and the highest grossing movie is... somebody did not put their phone on silent.
No, that's the time of the 30-minute mark. So keep going.
So Avatar is the highest grossing movie of all time.
Okay. Okay.
With 2.92 billion.
Oh, I love that.
It's almost at the 3 billion mark. But that's because it was released twice.
Right, okay.
Because they took so long to release the second one, they had to remind people this movie existed. So they released Avatar again.
Okay.
And people went to watch it. So that's why 2 collections. Now, here's a fun fact. The total collections of these 53 movies is 72.2 billion.
Wow, okay.
That's a massive number.
That is a massive number.
Now, I'm going to filter out everything that is an adaptation, a remake, or a sequel.
Okay.
So part 2s, part 3s, part 4s, whatever is out. And I'm only going to keep the original films.
Okay.
This list is going to be interesting. So there are...
So you filtered out from 53 to $1 billion grossing movies to now?
To now 6.
There are only 6 movies.
There are only 6 of $1 billion grossing films.
That's it.
That are... And now, even in that, there is an interesting factor. These movies are Avatar, Titanic, Barbie, Frozen, Jurassic Park, Zootopia. Okay? Now, here's the thing. Jurassic Park and Zootopia, proper original films.
Okay.
And Frozen as well. Barbie has an existing fan base.
Yeah, Mattel fan base.
Yeah. Barbie has an existing fan base.
Right.
And plus on top of that, it has Ryan Gosling and it has Margot Robbie.
Yep.
So again, but still we'll call it an original film because technically it's an original film.
The concept is original.
Yes. Titanic came out on the back of James Cameron's popularity. So James Cameron had released Aliens 2. James Cameron had released Terminator 2 and 1. And James Cameron was now being hailed as the person with the Midas touch.
Yeah.
No matter what he touched,
That's pretty
turned to
fantastic.
gold.
Yeah.
So when Titanic came out, the very opening weekend, everybody went because it's James Cameron and it was hyped to the max. The marketing was through the roof for that film. Like, you know where my parents were told to go watch Titanic? In a parent-teacher conference in 5th grade.
It's a perfect movie for you.
Yeah.
It's a perfect movie for family,
Perfect
right?
movie for family. There's like people dying everywhere.
Was it your French teacher who said it?
English teacher.
Okay. There was a joke in there somewhere. I just missed
No,
it.
this is a joke.
Keep going.
Went from France.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
So, and rank number 1 is again another James Cameron film,
Yeah.
Avatar.
I was going to say, James Cameron and $1 billion, man. That's pretty cool.
James Cameron and $5 billion.
Yeah, we see, to his credit. Wow, that's pretty phenomenal. But you see how that works, though? You see how you filtered out a list of 53 to 6?
Fun fact.
Best part.
The best part is Matt Damon was offered the lead role in Avatar. And
Turned it down?
he was not only given a salary, but he was told that he will be given 10% of the movie's grossings.
Oh, wow. Why did he turn it down?
He
Scheduling
didn't
conflict?
he didn't like the script.
Oh, man.
He hates it.
Oh.
He hates it. 5 billion. He would have made 500 million.
I'd see. We won't speak a lot about the finances. We don't know how it works. But
No, he said it. He said it. Matt Damon had said it.
oh, he said it himself.
I was offered 10% of the
Oh
gross.
wow, okay, fair enough. But this is it. The cultural and the financial and the psychological.
Yeah.
This psychological and cultural impact exists because of this financial
Yeah.
need.
Just 6 films of the 53, and 2 of those 53 are sequels of Jurassic Park.
That's it.
Frozen 2 is amongst this list. Zootopia 2, when it releases, will definitely make
Correct,
this
got
list.
it. So that's it. That's the whole point.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
People don't go for original movies. They just like putting up stories on Instagram and making posts on Facebook. And
We like the idea of Monkey Man and A24 movies, but how many of us actually go watch
Yeah.
it? That's it. That's the whole point. But thank you very much for this very insightful podcast with me, Sid.
anytime.
And now we shall take a leave and we'll come back soon. Okay, bye.
After a change of wardrobe. Thanks for listening to Best Part Days with Sid Adee. We hope you enjoyed this episode as much as we did. If you loved what you heard, make sure to subscribe, rate, and leave a review on your favorite podcast platform. Stay curious, stay inspired, and keep looking for the best part in everything. This is Sid Adee signing off. See you in the next episode of Best Part Days.